Gifted people are failing programming, and here's why. These flaws, I call them the four horsemen of the programming apocalypse. If you suffer from these on a regular basis, it is impossible to succeed. Each horseman touches a different subject, but they all share the same essence, which is that thoughts are destiny. You become what you constantly think about. I see pessimism as a form of demoralization. Pessimists, they like to call themselves realists because for them it sounds more rational, but it's not a reasonable or rational way to live your life. Pessimism, it is an infection, and eventually, given enough time, left untreated, it evolves into something far worse and more dangerous: nihilism. Think about it. If you think your life is not getting better, if you go through life looking at every situation through the worst possible lens, then the next logical step is life is suffering, life is meaningless. Then, once you get to that point, why bother doing anything? A good degree of optimism is required to succeed. Now first, let's declare what optimism isn't. Optimism isn't gaslighting yourself into thinking something that sucks doesn't suck. Optimism is, okay, this sucks, this is hard, but I'm getting somewhere because I'm getting better every day. I'm putting my best effort and I will succeed. People talk about self-esteem. People think like my body, how I look, and can I talk to women? They think about those things. But I think self-esteem is about feeling capable. This is paramount because when things get hard, and it will, a person with low self-esteem is going to spiral in a vicious cycle of self-doubt. With every mistake, they crucify themselves, they question their abilities. People with low self-esteem, they are cruel with themselves on a regular basis. Machines are unforgiving. I say, for every 10 problems, you should not react emotionally to at least 9 of them. Because that's the only way that programming becomes enjoyable and therefore sustainable. Healthy programming is like having a conversation with a friend, but instead of a friend, you're having a conversation with the machine. It's basically a back and forth. Hey compiler, what do you think about this? The compiler says, I don't think so. And then you say, well, what about this? And the compiler might say, you're getting somewhere, but it's not quite there. And then you continue the conversation, and then doing this many times, you eventually get to the place you want to be, the place where the compiler agrees. Some people don't have this kind of healthy relationship with the machine. They are always at war with the programming language, at war with the compiler. They're always complaining, they're always angry because things don't work out, and this style of programming is just unbearable. I don't need to know how smart somebody is. I don't need to know their IQ. I don't need to know what school they're going. I just need to know how they react emotionally when things go wrong. Can they endure long periods of frustration? That's gonna be the number one factor, in my opinion, that is going to make somebody or break somebody. If you have a strong negative reaction for every single problem, it drains so much energy. Because how do people give up on things? It's always a slow burn. It's death by 1,000 cuts. You know when you have a leak on the house and you leave a bucket out and it feels like ages are gonna take to fill it up, and then a few hours later the thing is overflowing. That's what happens when you store for long periods of time strong negative reactions. Your bucket is filling up and one day it overflows. And when it does, that's the day that you give up. Programming can and it needs to be enjoyable. And it can be when you are in a state of neutrality. The number one cause of mental instability is lack of sleep. Neglecting sleep is catastrophic. For some reason, people are proud of neglecting sleep. You know those people that they always brag about pulling all-nighters and they think it's a badge of honor? And science has proven the lack of sleep is the origin for many problems that we suffer today. Then on top of this, you have a low-quality diet. And then on top of that, you have no exercise. So you have a lack of sleep, a bad diet, lack of exercise, and now your energy is decimated, destroyed, dust. Next, a GPU analogy. Because for me, raw intelligence is like hardware. It's the VRAM, the core clock. And the mental resilience, the quality of your thoughts, those what I call the mental drivers. You can't brute force your way to a successful programming career with only raw intelligence. Some people, they are gifted in hardware, they have a high IQ, but their mental drivers are absolutely horrendous, so they are unable to reach their full potential. Meanwhile, you could have somebody that has a mid-range GPU hardware, but their drivers are so fast, so optimized, so reliable that they go further than other people that should be in front of them. Continuing with the GPU analogy, you can update your mental drivers, you can have better thoughts, you can have better patterns. If you follow GPU news, you know that ARC, Intel, now has a GPU division. They had immense amount of performance gains with only drivers. And that's how I see people. Some people, they just have the mental drivers in them that makes their hardware work so much better than other people. In a nutshell, a gifted person that has chronic pessimism, which leaves them in a constant state of negativity. They have low self-esteem, which starts a vicious cycle of self-doubt, combined with a low tolerance for frustration, and then a neglect of physical needs. These mental drivers' flaws, what I call the four horsemen of the programming apocalypse. These create an environment where programming is unbearable and therefore success is impossible. What other flaws do you think is preventing people from succeeding? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share the whole shebang. Thank you for watching, and see ya in the next one.